No.
Oh yeah, we got it. It says we got it. I think we're live, bro. What's good? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh,
Is it recording?
it says, yeah. I mean, you see us on live though. I don't know if this. It says fail to schedule stream on some destinations. I don't know which ones, but
Yeah, I don't see you on
you
Instagram.
don't see me on Instagram. What about Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook we good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess that's what it is. What's going on, everybody? Having some technical difficulties here, man, but I'm not surprised with technology nowadays, man. It's always like that. There's always something, man. Can't
Yeah.
live with it, can't live without it, man. Yo, Leonard, man, what up? Thanks for coming through, bro. I always love
Joe, what's going on, man? Been a minute. How's
Yeah.
everything?
Everything's good, man. Blessed another day, brother. We woke up this morning. We're winning, y'all. We're winning.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
For those of y'all coming through and checking it out, man, drop where you're from in the chat, your name, all that good stuff. Let us know you're here. We thank you for your support. And man, we kind of came to an agreement that we're going to talk about fear and the obstacles that it causes in life, in when you're trying to accomplish something that is uncomfortable, right? Because that's where the side is where the magic happens, right? When you're in the comfort zone, there ain't nothing special going on there. It's the same song, same thing over and over and over again, and you're just comfortable with it. That's why you want to stay there. But where the real growth is, now that's on the other side of the comfort zone. That's when the fear starts kicking in. That's when those inner critics start kicking in. That's when the self-doubt starts kicking in. And all of that's created, right, from fear, the self-doubt, the worry, that inner critic that pops up. Those character defects come into play when fear's in play. And the fear of the unknown, the fear of what's on the other side of that comfort zone, right? On that going out of that comfort zone, what's over there. So a lot of the times, fear creeps in. I remember, when I was out there getting high, I had a fear of what life would be like without drugs.
Right, definitely.
I couldn't imagine life without having some kind of mind-altering substance in my body every single day. And I remember even at the time, like where life was completely unmanageable, I still had that fear of like life without drugs. I couldn't fathom it. I didn't know what it even looked like. I didn't want to know, bro. I was cool with getting high every day, and sometimes we have plans and God laughs at them because my plan was to get high the rest of my life. I didn't think I was ever going to stop drinking and drugging. I thought that's what it was going to be. And man, when God made that shift and downloaded that into my system that it's time to go out there and get sober, I was still scared, man. I still had that fear of going to a rehab and making a change in my life. I was scared to change, bro.
Right. Yeah, especially in an addiction, and great topic because this is something I'm become more aware of as well. Sometimes we scare ourselves, like we think of this, what do they call it? Fear. I wrote it down. Fantasize experiences appearing real, and that's one of the things they call fear. We sometimes we scare ourselves. And I remember when I was in heavy addiction, one of my fears was, again, like you said, fear without that substance in our bodies and how we would feel, but also fear of like facing the truth. Like, to get sober, you have to get real with yourself. You know what I mean? You have to take accountability and just make yourself aware of what you're doing, not only to yourself but to other people. And how your shortcomings and what you're, how you're behaving. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to admit that. And sometimes I know for me, that was another thing. Like, I don't want to admit I was, doing this to people, or messing up my body, my health, my brain cells. I wasn't following God. And my fear was like, how would people look at me? How would I be seen if I admit this? Even to myself, I didn't want to admit it, because I felt like I was a loser, or I was, wasn't who I thought I was. And that's something I feared. And now today, I always look back and say, God does not give us fear. That's not a trait he gives us. That's the enemy trying to put that in us and trying to have us receive that.
Yeah,
God doesn't give that to us. So, we shouldn't react on like we're fearful, we're scared, you know what I mean? And not look at it like, what the worst that could happen, but maybe what's the best that could happen on certain things that we're in fear of or scared of trying,
Yeah, man. Nah, God didn't create us to be fearful. He created us to be
Exactly.
fearless.
Exactly.
And have the courage to overcome the fear. And I look at, I always say you can look at fear two ways, right? You can look at it as fuck everything and run, or face everything and reforge, right? And man, it comes into play where this fear and faith are both the same, right? You believe in something that's there, you can't touch it, you can't feel it, but you know it's there, you know it exists. So, man, do I rather lean into my faith rather than lean into the fear? Because leaning into my faith helps me overcome those fears. And, man, I remember even after achieving sobriety, and the fear was, damn, what's life going to look like now?
Right.
But when I realized that I didn't have, when I learned how to live life without drugs and alcohol, and I realized that tapping into that higher source that I call God to help me remove those fears, remove the self-doubt, remove the worries. And because they come up, right? We're all human. It's going to come up.
Right.
That fear is going to come up. It's going to be a part of your life. But you have to learn to face that fear and overcome it rather than run away from it. Because when you run away from your fears, guess what? They just grow bigger and bigger and bigger. But then when you run towards them, they get smaller, right? Because you're not giving that fear as much power in your mind, right? The fears, the anxiety, the self-doubt, the worry, they only have as much power as you give them in your mind. And I remember all the fears that I faced after achieving sobriety, of like starting a new business and what that was going to look like. And man, can I really do business without drugs and alcohol? Because man, I was getting fucked up for so long in my life. I attributed everything to drugs and alcohol. It was an everyday part of my life. So coming out, I was like a fish out of water, man. Coming into this world without drugs and alcohol, going into a new business and trying to build that business, and starting from ground zero again. Man, that was some scary shit. But utilizing the tools that I use to overcome the fear of life without drugs is what helped me be able to lean back into those characteristics, right? Of how I face the fear and use my courage to face it, use my faith to push through, use my past experiences of when fear approached me and how I overcame it to be able to overcome it when it comes to building a business all over again. And having to learn new things and learn a new way of living life, and there's so many different ways that fear is going to try to attack you. And you could either let fear sit in the front seat and drive your car, or you can realize that you control your own destiny and put fear in the back seat and let fear know that it can't control you like that. You don't control. Fear doesn't control you. You control your fear. It's always going to be there, but you don't have to let it control your destiny, man.
Well, it's so good, so good. You're right. And it is, the fear, like you said, keeps you stuck, and it's just an excuse not to try. But the thing is that, we have to realize too that, you could try more than once. So we're fair that we're going to fail at something, but we could always go try it again and keep trying and trying until we get there. So we fear that we're going to fail at something, but to remember in the back of your head that, you know what, I could always try again and be persistent and continue to try until you achieve what you're looking to achieve. So that's another way to look at it. Even so the fear, that kind of, lessens the fear of things. You could try again and again. Just because we tried that one time and maybe we don't reach that goal, or, ask that girl out and she says no, or, don't get that. We don't get that job the first time. We can always try again. And that's the great thing about life. We could persistence, you keep trying and you could try it over and over again. And yeah, like I said, that's an excuse just to stay stuck, immobilized. And if, like you said, we have to learn to control the fear. Don't let it drive the car. We make sure we are controlling it. So great point. That's a great point.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's real. And you made an example about when failure, right? And having that fear of failure. Man, come on, man. Stop embarrassing yourself. Don't be afraid of failure, y'all. You right. Failure is part of success.
Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other, right?
Yeah, man. Welcome failure with open arms, like a code of honor, and realize that it's a stepping stone towards your greatness. It's a stepping stone towards you creating your own destiny, right? I mean, damn, imagine if you ask a girl out and the first girl that says no to you, you never asked another girl out again, you'd be one lonely ass motherfucker, boy.
Exactly.
Same thing. I mean, look at all the greats in history, man. They all had to fail. Oprah Winfrey failed. Walt Disney. How many times did he get turned down before he actually got the loan for Disney World? If he would have been afraid of failure and said, you know what, I failed. Now that's the end. You never had Mickey Mouse running around and your kids running around enjoying Disney World.
Right.
What was it? The Colonel got turned down how many times before he got KFC?
Exactly.
I mean, it's part of it, man. Michael Jordan missed the most damn shots in the NBA, right, when he was playing, but he took the most shots, and he made the most shots, and he made the most game-winning shots. Right, and he wouldn't be the greatest of all time. Sorry, LeBron fans, it's Michael, but he wouldn't be the greatest of all time if he was afraid to fail. It's just how it works, man. So and he learned to face his fears, right? Because everybody has that fear of failing that first time, but once they face it and they're like, all right, you know what? I failed. So what? I learned from it. It wasn't that bad. I could go and fail again. Now you learned it where you're not having that fear towards failing like it was the first time. That fear gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller again. It's like anything else. Anytime you face a fear one time, the next time you go do it, you're not going to be as scared to go do it.
Exactly. And we're more powerful than we think, right? Sometimes we think, we're going to fail or we're scared, like I said, to try to take that, get out of our comfort zone. Because a lot of times we find comfort in suffering because we're fearful to take the next step or to grow or, like you said, to take on that fear. And I think like God made us more powerful. We're more powerful than we think. And if we just replace that fear with a purpose and what that goal is, what you're trying to achieve, that'll push you forward. And having faith in ourselves, you know what I mean? If you're out there, fearful of doing something, you have faith in yourself that you're strong enough to do it, to succeed. And again, and if you're failing, take that as a lesson learned, like a blessing that, okay, you learn from it. What can I do better this time? The next time around, like you said, you're not as afraid, and you look to to achieve it. So yeah, and then just having that purpose and knowing what your end game is, that pushes through fear as well. And, so like I said, we're all more powerful than we think. Sometimes I think we're conditioned to, like I said, not try or be scared. And a lot of times, like I said in the beginning, we're scaring ourselves, for something that didn't even happen yet. So, just have the faith to move forward, and, I think that'll help.
Yeah, man, that faith to move forward is so important, because you gotta have the faith, number one, and most importantly, I believe in a higher source greater than yourself. You want to call it God, the universe, the infinite intelligence, whatever makes you comfortable, whatever works for you. But realizing that higher source greater than yourself is going to help you to unlock your fullest potential is first and foremost in the faith you got to have. But also having that faith that higher source is going to help you to overcome that fear. And then you got to have faith in yourself. You got to believe.
That's right.
And see yourself overcoming that fear. Visualize it, feel it, bring it into existence. See what life would look like after you overcome that fear. And think about what that fear, what it's holding you back from, how it's holding you back from unlocking your fullest potential, how it's holding you back from living the life that you want to live, from creating success on your own terms, from being able to go out there and create, the legacy that you want to create. Because once you allow that fear to hold all that shit inside of you and to hold you back from, it's holding you back from your dreams, man. That's all it's doing. That fear is not your friend. It's not there to help you and comfort you the way it might make you think, because it wants you to stay in your comfort zone. You got to remember that fear is not your friend, it's your enemy. But you could utilize that fear as a friend if you have it help you catapult you to the next level. And the way that happens is by facing that fear, learning how to overcome that fear, and learning that fear isn't as powerful as your mind. And it's a small piece of you that you control. It doesn't control you. And like Len's saying, man, that mind that you have, that you were born with, that's probably the most powerful tool you were blessed with, man. Because you have what you have inside of you, something greater than you even could imagine.
That's right. That's right.
Your creator didn't put you here to allow your fears to control your life. Your creator created you so that you overcome those fears and create your own destiny.
All right. Agree 100%. And, and if you're out there sitting, waiting for that confidence to come before you take that next step, like Joe said, take on that fear, because the confidence will follow. You know what I mean? The confidence will follow, but to grow and to make that step and to live that life that hopefully you're imagining, you have to take on that fear. And like you said, know that you weren't put on this planet to be weak. You're strong, and take it right on. Everything else will fall into place if you have the courage to take and the confidence to take that step. So
yeah, man. And remember, y'all, it doesn't have to be all in one shot.
Right.
You don't have to overcome that fear in whatever the fear is in one day, whether it's building a new business, whether it's going out and maybe you're fucked up in the game right now and you don't know how to go get sober. It doesn't have to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. Building that multi-million-dollar business isn't going to happen overnight. Overcoming a fear of whatever it is doesn't take place. It doesn't have to take place in one day. It doesn't have to take place in one sitting. Take small steps towards overcoming that fear. What's one small step you could take today towards overcoming the fear that you have in front of you? Whatever that fear is, what's one step that you could write down, that you could take action on today that's going to help you overcome that fear? And you continue to write it down. Continue, and then don't forget, after you take that one step, Take
Right.
notice of it, man. Congratulate yourself. You deserve that. Congratulations, because you're taking a step towards overcoming a fear and coming closer to your greatness.
That's right. That's right. And the only way you're failing, believe me, is not trying. So
Amen.
gotta
Amen
try.
to that.
Gotta try.
That's
All right.
right, man. That's right. Well, man, listen, Len, again, as usual, bro, it's always great when we're able to come through together and make it happen, bro. I enjoy
Thank
doing these things, and we got to make it, we got to be more consistent with it, man. The audience deserves that.
Definitely do, man. And of course, thank you for inviting me on. I appreciate it as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
Keep doing it.
Let's
All
keep
right.
doing it, man. And all
Sounds
y'all
good.
out there, man, stay productive, stay profitable, and stay blessed, man. Enjoy the rest of your
Right.
week.
And have no fear. All right. Keep moving forward. Take care.
Fearless, baby, fearless. Your creator made you fearless. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
All right, man.